So today we're going to be talking about Bake 253, and we're going to be doing the pro forma component of the business plan. When you open the file that says Bake 253 Module 9 Pro Forma Student Copy, this is the screen you should see. And if you look down here, you'll notice it's the Financial tab. And if you look on the Financial tab, we have July, August, all the way through, and we keep on going till we get to June next year, and we have the totals after that. Pretty much everything is already, all the calculations are done. You're just going to have to copy the formulas that are in here. If you look, first of all, here we have non-taxable sales and taxable sales. That is a decision that you're going to have to make. So we're going to move right now away from this financials, and we're going to go into the sales component. This is one of the first things you're going to have to do. So this is sales for the month of July 2021. We have all the days of the week listed in here, and we have what it is you're going to sell. So here we have pastries, small, medium, fancy, bread, regular, high fiber, gourmet. And then later on down here, we have the coffee shop sales. We have beverages, coffee, tea, soft drinks, desserts. Now, you have to decide what is going to be a tax-free sale and what is not. So if you have just one item, then here we just write the one item and whatever you're going to sell it for. This is not linked to anything, so you can decide that a small pastry here could actually be $2.95, and a medium pastry could be $3.50, and maybe a fancy could be $5. So because you've changed those prices, you can't see it here because the quantities have stayed the same. But when you go to the far end, you'll notice that all the totals have changed. These are the dollar figures. This in column AF is the sum of all the product you've sold for each day. This is the amount times the sum of all the product. And eventually down here, you can see we actually have the total revenue for that month, which is the total month of July. But these, as you can see, are all for non-taxable sales. When we come down here, we have the taxable sales. So remember that for non-taxable sales, you can either have a whole cake, a whole pie, or 6 pastries of some kind. But if you are selling 3 pastries or a slice of pie or a slice of cake, then you have tax on it. And here we just got the coffee shop sales, using that as an example of items that are going to be taxed. We keep them separate only for the taxation purposes, but once we have the totals, and you'll notice right now over here, this is $20,000, this is $712,000. When we go to the financials, here you have $20,000 and $7,000 giving our total sales. Whatever it is that you put in there is entirely up to you. If you decide, for example, over here, you're not going to have the coffee shop sales at all, you can delete the whole thing. But once you delete the whole thing, that means you'll have 0 in the financials. You can probably just put a 0 in here, or if you want, delete them or add more, depending on what it is you want to actually sell. The prices just change this. The numbers, you decide what it's going to be. If you're going to be closed on a Sunday, then have 0 on a Sunday. This is just your projection for 1 month. You only have to do 1 month, and I'll explain to you why. This is the month of July, and here this number is coming from the sales. So for August, we have a different number here. And that's because the calculation or the formula in August is July times 5% plus B5. So this is a 5% increase. And then for September, we're going to do a 2% increase. October, we're going to do a 5%. November, we're going to do a 5%. And December, another 5%. January, 5%. So you can see how the formula keeps going with a 5% increase. You probably wouldn't get a 5% increase in January, but that's fine. All these slots here need to be filled in, and that's for you to figure out what it's going to be. So you can see there is a formula under here, you can use that. Likewise, the taxable sales, you either have it or you don't. And then you're going to need the total sales. Now the purchases, which is down here, to keep things easy, we've taken the total sales, which is B7, and we have multiplied it by 25%. So 6,941 is 25% of 27,763. So that is going to be the standard. Because you don't know what your purchases are going to be, we're going to keep it at 25% right now. So that means your COGS will be 20,822. So that's where your gross profit stands. Now here you'll notice you have hourly wages and salaries. So we come down again to the sales down here, and you'll, labor. Here's the schedule. Now you'll notice it's me, Michelle, Chelsea, and Charles, which it makes no difference. You can put your names, you can keep those names. It's not that important what the names are. The top two here are on salary, so it's a big zero. It's just a schedule to see when they're working. There's nobody actually there. And then Chelsea makes $17 an hour and Charles makes $16 an hour. The calculation here will not give it to you, so you have to do the math yourself and figure out that they'll make 32 hours that week. So 32 hours is all that's going to happen. And this, of course, is automatically calculated for the 32 hours times the $17 gives us 544. And then when you add everyone else up, you end up with $1,761 for a weekly payroll. That weekly payroll, when you calculate it, and all I've done here is divide it by 6. So the weekly payroll divided by 6 multiplied by 25, because you're open for 25 days in the month of July. That's just the way it works. So that's your monthly payroll, $733,750. But July also has a stat in it. So these are the extra charges over here, which are calculated on the stat. And that gets added over here and becomes $7,821.50. So we go to the financials, $7,822. It's rounded it up for you. Salaries, this is entirely up to you. You decide you want to pay yourself. How much do you want to get paid per month? So here we've put $6,000. Now, for those of you who remember the menu design class where we figured on the percentages for everybody on all the different Canada Pension Plan EIs, what we've done here is taken the benefits and HR expenses as 18%. So this is 18% of these two combined. And that's what we're going to keep. So then we have marketing. This is entirely up to you to decide how much you're going to spend each month for marketing. We also have office supplies, which will be your phone and computer and the internet, the Wi-Fi. Then rent. Again, this is up to you. Are you going to buy your place? You're going to rent a place? Whatever it is, that is a number here. You can do some research, find it out. Utilities. This is gas and electricity. Whatever the utilities are, that goes in there. If you're leasing equipment, that goes in here. And here's a bank loan, 2.2. So this is a bank loan for about $300,000, which is kind of a lot of money, but you've got it, so might as well use it. That's what you have to pay back every single month. So your total expense is $21,559, but your gross profit was $20,822. End result is you lose $737. So take that into consideration. Now you can see what it's going to be. Maybe we can tweak a few things. Maybe we'll take a less of a bank loan. Maybe we don't need so many people working. Whatever the case may be, tweak these numbers and get it down here to your profit. And then, of course, you can multiply it through the whole year. Once you've done it, once you've completed the year all the way to the far end, you'll see here we have the totals. And the total here is $320,000 for 1 year's sales. That number will automatically come down here and fill in year 1. And then, of course, we're going to need year 2, year 3, year 4 as well. I know there's a year 5, and quite often they may ask you to do 5 years. But technically speaking, maybe just do 3 years. That's all you really need. And this is the projected sales. And of course, at the bottom, the net income that you're planning to make by operating for 3 years as this business. So that should help you out with the completion of this. If I just take an example here, here you have the September stat. Now, if you look at this, it's quite simple here. If we take this and copy it, and we paste the formula below it, it works. It's the same formula as this. So now you will see 7,618 is a 2% increase of 7,468. So these numbers can be transferred over or copied over, whichever you want to do. And that is pretty much it for that particular exercise. So there's one thing I want to do now, which is very quickly show one particular exercise. And this was mentioned by Heather in class. You want to know how to make a graph or a pie chart. So I'm going to show you very quickly. All we need to do is come up to the top here where it says Insert. And when you get to Insert, you have over here where it says Charts. And you can choose what kind of chart you want to choose. So you can have the recommended ones, or you have the pie chart down here, or this one. So let's just click on this, and you have the 2D and 3D columns. So let's just make sure I'm not highlighting anything. So let's just take this. We need two axes, the X and the Y. So if we take the hourly wages and all the money here, we have two items. We have the X and we have the Y. So now that we have that, we can hit this graph and say we want to do 3D columns, and there you have it. That is as hard as it is to actually get a file or graph of some kind in Excel. So if you go out, we can do it again and say, well, how about we do a pie chart? So we take the two things. You'll notice it's two columns. These are all related and these are all related. Because they're related, we can open the pie chart one here and say, hey, how about we do a three-dimensional pie chart? And there you have it. It tells you what the colors signify. Perfect. So that is the easiest way of actually doing a chart or a pie chart or a graph in Excel. It's not very hard at all. And that is it for today. So hopefully this will help you. Drop me a line and I'll help you otherwise.